On this week's Waypoint, the World Championships are over, but we have all the stats. Riot is hiring everyone they'd need to make a new game, and they're finally fulfilling an old promise. All that and more. What's up, guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap. I'm your host, Kat Andrusco. The League of Legends Season 4 World Championships are officially over. Congratulations to Korea's Samsung White for beating China's Starhorn Royal Club to the title. News is a little light this week at Riot, with everyone flying home and taking a well-deserved break. We still have some interesting things to talk about, though, starting with some stats from the World Championships. LolStats GG and PlayHacker on Reddit put together a great post that we'll link to below, going over how often champions were banned and picked at Worlds. Unsurprisingly, Alistar had a 100% pick and ban rate, which was just insane. This was patch 4.14, remember? Right before the Alistar nerfs. It's a bit of a shame that we had to have an automatic ban throughout the tournament. He was only picked 5 times the entire event, and the Minotaur came out victorious in 4 of those games. Other top champions included Zilean with a 96% pick/ban rate, Lee Sin and Maokai at 92, followed by Ryze and Thresh in the 80s. Again, these numbers aren't too surprising. Coming into the tournament, they were all considered top-tier picks. But looking at their win rates, they don't even come close to Alistar. Maokai at 63% and Ryze at 59% probably points toward them being a little too strong, but the others hover around 46% to 55%, which seems about right. The exception is Kha'Zix, who had an 87% pick/ban rate, but only a 43% win rate, which seems to indicate he was a bit overvalued. Keep in mind, though, that win rates aren't the be-all, end-all when lower-tier teams are picking these champions alongside the best teams. Rengar had a great showing with 14 games picked and 12 games won, giving him a ludicrous 85% win rate. Rengar is such a hard champion to balance because a big part of his strength comes from other champions on his team. Rengar with an Orianna, for example, is much stronger than a Rengar with an Ahri. It's all about the Wombo combo. Riot is hiring! They're looking for people in research and development in pretty much every department you can think of. Game design, technical design, graphics, art, animation, engineering, everything you'd need to build a game from the ground up. Anticipating a flurry of speculation, Riot released a follow-up blog post basically telling everyone to chill the hell out. Quote, "We're not ready to announce, discuss, or launch any new games yet or anytime soon." They also reiterated that League of Legends is their #1 priority and will be for a long time. Still, it's pretty cool news. League of Legends is turning 5 on the 27th, which is mind-blowing, and I think we'd all love to see some more games from Riot. With the resources, experience, and talent they have now, they've got everything going for them. What direction would you guys like to see them go in the future? They've got a ridiculously popular IP on their hands. It would make sense to expand it. Fighters, strategy games, maybe even an MMO. There are a lot of genres they could explore, or they could go for something completely different and see if they can strike gold twice. I'll let you know in about 5 years. Next up, Riot is finally addressing an old promise they made. Back in the day, when there were about 10 people working on the game, no one had any idea how big League of Legends was going to become. So there was the old Refer a Friend program, and for 10,000 referrals, Riot would fly the person out to HQ to develop a champion with the team. I'm sure they never expected anyone to hit that number, but several people ended up doing so. So here's what's going to happen. Riot will be inviting the winners out to an event they call Thunderdome next year. They'll spend 3 intense days designing and developing a champion, getting into the paper prototype status. They'll work with a team of Rioters from across the studio and at the very least pass along their vision for the character. At that point, Riot will carry the concept forward and eventually release the champion. Or not. Only 2% of champions make it past that stage of development. Good luck, I guess. Now, I'm not really sure what this means, but there's definitely something strange going on. Zaddles on Reddit noticed that several champion pages on the official website have some very odd special effects. Now, I'm not an expert on the lore, and it is being rebooted, so who knows, but I'm pretty sure these champions aren't all connected. Ice Queen Lissandra next to Ninja Zed next to Shadow Isle's Hecarim? I don't think so. Halloween is right around the corner though, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was teasing some Halloween skins. It could also be a new champion that somehow has ties to all of these characters, which would be pretty impressive. The hilarious alternative suggested by Cashew92 on Reddit is that it's just a Graves smokescreen buff. Riot, please. That would be too funny. Follow the link below to check them out. As much as we all love League of Legends, I've always thought that there was one thing missing: tanks. Team-on-team action like League, but massively multiplayer with action-packed gameplay dedicated to armored warfare. With hundreds of tanks to choose from all over the world, there's a fiery ball of death for everyone's appetite. Not only is it easy to get into with its gameplay and functionality, but it's easy to get into financially. Free to play. There's no barrier to entry at all, and really no reason not to check out World of Tanks. If you're interested, head on over to gboffer.com/tanks and check out World of Tanks today. Following that link and checking out the game is also a fantastic way to support us and keep shows like this going. Once again, to check out World of Tanks and support this content, head on over to gboffer.com/tanks and live out your tank-filled fantasies. That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. For more video game news and content, head on over to gamebreaker.tv. Be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends news. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment below and help us reach more people. And if you want more League of Legends content, recaps, and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolNationTV. I'm Kat Andrusco. You can follow me on Twitter @KatAndrusco. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next Waypoint.
Gamebreaker TV.